Hi, my name is Mrs. Spence. I'm a 6th grade math teacher, and I'm looking forward to meeting all of the current 5th grade students next year in 6th grade. I was asked to read part of the Edward Tulane book, and I'm happy to read chapter 24 for you. Joining me on my couch is a rabbit that I got when I was a little kid, and now my boys both use as a play toy. They actually call him Ollie. It's not what I called him when I was little, but it just shows you how multiple generations can have the same toy and love them, kind of like what's happening to Edward. In the last chapter, you guys noticed that Edward had been broken, and Bryce had taken Edward to a man to fix him, and he was left with only two choices: either to go somewhere else with Edward and try to get him fixed somewhere else, or to give him up. And that's what Bryce had decided to do, was to give Edward up so that he could be fixed and repaired, and that's where we leave off in chapter 24. So here's chapter 24. And so Edward Tulane was mended, put together again, clean and polished, dressed in an elegant suit, and placed on a high shelf for display. From this shelf Edward could see the whole shop, Lucius Clark's workbench, and the windows to the outside world, and the door that the customers used to enter and leave. From this shelf Edward saw Bryce open the door one day and stand in the threshold, the silver harmonica in his left hand, flashing brilliantly in the sunlight, flooding in through the windows. "Young sir," said Lucius, "I'm afraid that we made a deal." "Can't I see him?" asked Bryce. He wiped his hand across his nose, and the gesture filled Edward with a terrible feeling of love and loss. "I just want to look at him." Lucius Clark sighed. "You may look," he said. "You may look, and then you must go, and not come back. I cannot have you in my shop every day mooning over what you have lost." "Yes, sir," said Bryce. Lucius sighed again. He got up from his workbench and went to Edward's shelf, and picked him up and held him so that Bryce could see him. "Hey, Jangles," said Bryce, "you look good. The last time I seen you, you looked terrible. Your head was busted in and—" "He is put together again," said Lucius, "as I promised you he would be." Bryce nodded. He wiped his hand across his nose. "Can I hold him?" he asked. "No," said Lucius. Bryce nodded again. "Tell him goodbye," said Lucius Clark. "He is repaired. He has been saved. Now you must tell him goodbye." "Goodbye," said Bryce. "Don't go," thought Edward. "I won't be able to bear it if you go." "And now you must leave," said Lucius Clark. "Yes, sir," said Bryce. But he stood without moving, looking at Edward. "Go," said Lucius Clark. "Go." "Please," thought Edward, "don't." Bryce turned. He walked through the door of the doll mender's shop. The door closed. The bell tinkled. And Edward was alone. It's quite the sad chapter 24. It shows you how much someone can love somebody else and still let them go. I hope that this chapter isn't the end of this book for you. You continue reading on with other teachers, and that you're enjoying it so far. And I look forward to seeing all of your faces come in the fall and having a wonderful school year with you then. Enjoy your summer and keep on reading. See ya.